What's up guys, I'm here and welcome to another vlog. And I'm at platform 13 this time, waiting for my train to Norwich. There goes a 158 heading off to Carmarthen. Covering for the usual 175. Definitely a better choice than a 150 or a 153. Here comes the train. 158 777. Right, I'm off the train. There's a 755 for Stansted Airport. Grand station building over here. Nice to see the weather's nicer down south. Off to the city centre. Alright, let's start with the castle to get some good city views. Let's enter through here. Oh, there's this. Okay, those steps are closed. I'm sure there's another way around here somewhere. So we need to figure out how to get. Turns out there's a lift. Let's give it a whirl, shall we? Now we're up. These are the views we want. Would get a better view from there, but it's now currently closed off due to construction work. But this'll do. And that looks like the mall down there. And there's a forum over there. I remember standing in front of that back in 2007. A long time ago now. Nice to see it's remained mostly unchanged. There's a city hall there. Fun fact, Norwich is one of the oldest cities in England. In fact, at some point in the medieval times, it was actually the second city after London. Yeah, pre-industrial era it was London, Norwich, York, and after the Industrial Revolution it became London, Birmingham, Manchester. I'll be coming back down this way. It's quite a nice bridge actually. Try and get to the other side so I can see the cathedral, because that's one of the taller cathedrals in Britain. And there it is. The most iconic spire in East Anglia. It's always been defining Norwich's skyline since the olden days, and it still does to this day. Now, Norwich Castle was actually built by William the Conqueror in 1167. Sorry, no, 1067. And then in the next century it became a big stronghold for kings, for his sons, William II and Henry the First. I think I might actually be able to get that view actually from that angle. But yeah, if you want a good view of Norwich, the castle's the best bet for that. Some nice shops down there. I'll be heading down to have an explore in a minute. And here we go. A much better view of the City Hall. Just had to take the long way around. The tower actually looks very similar to Swinton's City Hall, which is where Salford City Council is based. Yeah, they might have been designed by the same architect, who knows. I've noticed a plethora of church tower buildings, as well as the cathedral itself. I imagine Norwich was a huge centre for Christianity back in the day. Probably still is today, you know. Like any other cathedral city that actually managed to grow quite big, Norwich still holds up as a city today. Population just under 200,000. It's pretty much the same as York. Quite a lot of buses coming and going down there, and then there's a Waterstones. Love to know what improvements they're doing to the castle. Hope it makes the experience much better for tourists. This kind of reminds me of Waverley more in Edinburgh a little bit. But it looks like it's closed for renovations at the moment. Looks like the lower part is open. I'd rather walk, thanks. Here's a better view of the castle. Looks rather modern for something built in the 11th century. Yeah, the actual architecture looks like it could be Georgian or Victorian, like 500, 600 years after it was actually built. So that is rather impressive, if you ask me. This looks interesting. Nice architecture down here. Lovely marketplace this, just outside the city hall. Got some fish and chips at the market. It's a thriving place this. Now to sit somewhere to eat it. Looks and smells fresh this. There's City Hall up there. Time to tuck in. Oh wow. Okay, these chips are incredible. Now let's try some of the fish. Ooh, that's gonna take a bit of... Oh my god. Nice and fresh. That has to be the best fish and chips I've had. Giving it a solid 10 out of 10. And there's the forum. And to the church. So let's head in that direction. So far I'm liking this city. There's quite a lot going on here. It's got a library as well. There's cafes. A gallery. Interesting. BBC Radio Norfolk is based here as well. That's a fancy looking M&S. It appears Into no longer own it anymore at Chapel Field. It's been renamed Chantry Place, or is Chapel Field a different place? I think this might be it actually. Go on, minute. My favourite Oreo McFlurries to go with it. Cool myself down.
There's no Phoebe, there's no Harrison, there's no me, there's no you. I don't know everything about it.
This looks like Norwich's independent department store. Or is it a chain? I don't know much about. Well, let's have a look inside. Oh, that's actually a really nice browse. That was some good exploring. Now back to the train station. Ah, is this where Anglian TV is based? Like ITV, BBC and all that. I'll be getting my train home now, so see you guys in the next video.